2024 Rock and Roll Hall of Fame inductees, Dave Matthews Band. It's Tier List Tuesday. Okay, what the actual hell is the Dave Matthews Band? Is it rock? Is it alternative? Is it Starbucks music? Is it yacht rock? Alternative folk? Stoner rock? Millennial dad rock? There are people who worship this band. And I know some people that, well, if they were doing a Dave Matthews Band tier list, it would look like this. As a general rule, I don't do ranking videos of acts that I don't at least like or respect. And in 1994 and 1995, I was a fan of Dave Matthews Band, probably as big of a fan as anybody. It was kind of cool to have a break from how grungy and dark my musical diet had become around then. The very idea that something could be cool and upbeat and fun and alternative all at the same time, it just blew my mind. Very refreshing, yeah? For the most part, Dave Matthews Band has continued to at least hold my interest to one degree or another. I still like Dave Matthews Band. So this tier list is not going to be some big ultimate Dave Matthews Band fanboy video. It's not going to be a big troll party either. I'm skipping their self-released albums from the sort of early mid-90s there. No best of, no solo albums, no greatest hits albums. I'm not touching on any of the 900 live Dave Matthews Band albums, give or take. 1994's Under the Table and Dreaming, the official major label debut album. It peaked at number 11 and has since gone on to be certified 6 times platinum by the RIAA. If you had one of the initial pressings, if you bought that CD when it first came out, Pay for What You Get is on there, and then that disappeared. I used to have that CD. Good job, Jim. From the interesting tidbit column, What Would You Say?, featuring John Popper from Blues Traveler on harmonica, he recorded his part. This is according to Dave Matthews himself. John Popper recorded his part in around 5 to 10 minutes while Dave Matthews was in the bathroom. Satellite is a great song. Ants Marching is a great song. The Best of What's Around is another one of my favorites from this album, Typical Situation. Number 34 is a really cool instrumental track. And for a brief period of time in 1994, going into 1995 probably, I loved this album. Under the Table and Dreaming. Just a great album. If you were thinking about putting together an essential 90s albums collection, I think Under the Table and Dreaming would be on there. In 1996, Crash was released. It was certified 7 times platinum by the RIAA. It is officially the band's best-selling album. Pig might have been on the album if you got the CD when it first came out. Too Much was a big alternative radio hit. So Much to Say was on this album. Two Step, Tripping Billies. Too Much got a lot of alternative radio airplay from this album, So Much to Say. Two Step, Tripping Billies. Proudest Monkey is a really strong finisher on this album. This album is honestly, this album is just as good. I don't think I listened to it as much, but I would say, yeah, they've done it again. Before These Crowded Streets dropped in 1998, it was their first album, but not their last, to debut at number 1 on the album chart. It's sold 2 million copies since. Bela Fleck is one of the guest stars on this album. Tim Riddles is playing guitar. Alanis Morissette is on this album. Don't Drink the Water. Stay. Crush. Some people consider this their best album. I consider it, well, at this point in time, I'm kind of like, yeah, okay, I get what this band is about. It's not a bad, it's certainly not. Look, look what that category says. The category says, yeah, pretty good album. So, in February of 2001, Every Day, the 4th studio album, it went triple platinum. It was their second number 1 album in a row. The original title of this album was the Everyday album. The songs that appeared on this album were not the songs that were originally going to be on this album. Originally, there were a bunch of songs recorded with Steve Lillywhite, and they were like, nah. So all of a sudden, this is the album that came together. Carlos Santana is on this, Glenn Ballard. So it's got some notable guest stars. The first single that I heard from this album was I Did It. And I didn't. I was like, okay. I just somehow didn't feel that song. The Space Between, which somehow became their first top 40 hit. You'd think there would have been hits before then, but The Space Between's a great song. It's another one of those good songs. Angel is on this album. This album allowed me to keep thinking, yeah, this band is just, okay, I get the gist of what they do. This is just not the best that they've done it. I don't think. And then in 2002, Busted Stuff came around. These are re-recordings of the songs that were going to be on Every Day. Where Are You Going is on this album. You Never Know, Captain, Gray Street, the Kit Kat Jam takes a few interesting turns along the way. It's a cool jam track. It did not make me think of candy bars. I thought this album was more of the same, but a little more interesting. So I would put it up here in the, yeah, pretty good album pile. In 2005, Stand Up was released. I really liked the album cover. The acapella beginning on Dream Girl, I kind of wondered, did I accidentally stick in like a new Paul Simon CD or something here? This album went platinum. The title was inspired by the civil rights movement. The song American Baby is, in my opinion, a great song. Old Dirt Hill I could hear that being a Jack Johnson song, or maybe even a Jimmy Buffett song. I can't really say Louisiana Bayou is one of my all-time favorite Dave Matthews tracks, so obviously I'm not going to. Everybody Wake Up. This album has its moments. It's not a great Dave Matthews Band album. In the spring of 2009, Big Whiskey and the GrooGrux King. The album cover and the liner note artwork were hand-drawn by Dave Matthews. This album was certified platinum, their 5th straight #1 album, nominated for Album of the Year at the Grammys and Rock Album of the Year. It lost to Taylor Swift for Album of the Year and to Green Day for Rock Album of the Year, but still, it never hurts to get a Grammy nomination, right? I can't really say I was living my best life when this album came out, but I had just moved to Seattle, and I had this sort of sense of renewed optimism. And this was just exactly the right Dave Matthews album for me. It's a jazz record for a minute, then it's a funk record for a minute, and then it's a rock album for the next 2 or 3 minutes, and then it's clearly a Dave Matthews album that contained, in my estimation, multiple above average Dave Matthews Band songs. I thought Funny the Way It Is a pretty solid track. It's one of those songs that somehow was fun to sing along to. I am one of those sing along people. You don't want to hear it, but I am one of those people. Lying in the Hands of God is on this album. You and Me, Why I Am. There aren't any all-time classics, but there aren't any weak songs on this album either. It is a solid listen. I think it belongs in this column right there, that it's a pretty good album. In 2012, Away from the World was released. This has since gone on to be certified gold by the RIAA. It was their 6th straight #1 album. Steve Lillywhite produced this. This was the first album Steve Lillywhite was in the mix since what would have been, quote, the Everyday album. Mercy is a good song. Like a lot of Dave Matthews Band albums, the last song is 9 minutes long. It's a journey, that's for sure. Gaucho's on the song. I think I mentioned Mercy, if only. Good songs. The artwork on the album cover. I've heard that Dave really likes the weed, and I've heard that Dave has given up the weed, and I've heard stories in between. I don't know. I just look at this album cover and it's like, this is Hollywood Squares if you're really high. 2018, Come Tomorrow. Dave did not design the album cover. Whew. It was their 7th consecutive #1 album, the RIAA certified gold album. The title is inspired by Hope for a Better Future. Well, that's cool, right? Again and Again are on here. Come Tomorrow, Black and Blue Bird. Samurai Cop, again and again, in my opinion, best song in this album. Not a great album. I just didn't think it was a great album. The final studio album from Dave Matthews Band, 2023's Walk Around the Moon. This album did not go to #1. It peaked at #5 on the album chart. It's 42 minutes and 42 seconds, their shortest studio album. I'm sure it's their shortest album. The album cover kind of reminds me a little bit of Busted Stuff, because it just seems sort of very hodgepodgey. They don't do simple album covers. There's just no more Keep It Simple in the album cover dictionary for the Dave Matthews Band. This album had 3 standout tracks, in my opinion. Monsters, Madman's Eyes, and Looking for a Vein. I wanted Looking for a Vein to be a longer song. It just suddenly seems like it's over. This is another album. I hate to put it right there. It's good. It's not great. I listened to it a few times and decided these are the best songs, and those got moved over to a playlist. And I haven't visited this album again since. Not a bad album if you're a Dave Matthews Band fan. I have a hard time imagining that you would think this album is bad. I just don't think it's great. I think they have 2 studio albums that are all-time classics. Some people would say Before These Crowded Streets should be on that tier.